All right, today we start Unit 4, and Unit 4 is going to be about data and graphs. We're going to look at a couple of different kinds of graphs that fifth graders need to know. We're not going to look at all of them. There's lots of different types of graphs out there. We're going to focus on just 3. And so the first 2 we're going to cover today, and those are bar graphs and line graphs. So this video, we're going to learn that we can read and draw conclusions from bar graphs, and then you'll watch a different video for line graphs. Okay, these are 2 very, very common graphs. A bar graph looks like what is down below here. You can see it down here. And this is where you compare similar things in a single category. So you're going to be comparing things that are pretty close. They have something in common, but they also have something different, similar, kind of similar in a single category. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is skittle frequency, a bar graph covering skittle frequency. So if you've ever seen the candy Skittles, it comes and there's lots of different colors. There are Skittles in red, orange, yellow, green, and purple. So in this graph, someone opened up a bag of Skittles and counted up how many Skittles they found in each different color. So the thing we're comparing in this are Skittles, right? These are all similar. Skittles are all similar, but the thing that is different about each one is their color. All right, so you can see how we're comparing something that's close, but has different categories in some way. So you're going to see the labels on one axis of your graph. And this one, it's along my x-axis, my bottom axis down here. On the other side, you're going to see how much. You're going to see some numbers where they're counting something up. So I noticed something very, very quickly, that this is going by 2. So 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. So I noticed that every line is a count of 2. All right, so we notice that. We see the title up at top. That's an important piece of information to tell us, hey, what is this graph about? And then I like how they even put the color as the bar to really make this stand out. So let's simply just count up each one. Let's see how many of each Skittle color we got in our bag. So starting with red, I see that bar extends all the way up to about right there. All right, goes all the way up to about right there. And so that tells me that that's how many red Skittles there are. So I see that bar goes halfway in between 14 and 16. If something is halfway in between and we're counting by 2s, then it has to be whatever number is in between there. And so that is 15. We had 15 red Skittles in this bag. Counting the orange, I see the orange kind of goes halfway in between the 6 and the 8, meaning that is 7. And put some circles around, so it's 7 orange ones. Yellow is the exact same height, so I can see 7. I simply just look at the bar, and I compare it to how far up or over it is versus that number, right? So I kind of extend it over, and I see that it is 7 there. All right, the green, halfway in between. You can kind of see if I were to extend this over, it's halfway in between the 12 and the 14. That must mean it's 13. And we finally get one that's right on a number. It's on that 8 line. So it is 8. So we simply look at how big the bar is, compare it over with the number it shows on the axis. All right, so you can see that we had 15 red, 7 orange, 7 yellow, 13 green, and 8 purple. Now we collect data to try and come up with conclusions or things we can say. What did we learn from this? And so we could say we could learn a lot from this. We could learn that there was red was what was mostly in the bag. We could say orange or yellow is what's least in the bag, but that's a pretty simple, you're just restating the data. I'm looking for something a little bit deeper. What is something that the numbers tell us about bags of Skittles? And the first thing I notice is that they put different amounts of different colors in different bags of Skittles. They don't count out the same amount of red, orange, yellow, green, purple in every bag. They must just kind of grab a handful and put it in there. So that means if I really like red, I'm happy with this bag. If I really like orange or yellow, I'm not so happy because I didn't get very many of them. So I, being a scientist and a mathematician, would love to open up more than one bag to to see if this ratio was kind of true. If red is what usually always comes up, if green comes up second, or if it's kind of random by bag. So we look at the data trying to compare something similar. We're comparing different colored Skittles, trying to draw conclusions. What can we learn from this? Okay. This is a vertical bar graph, which means the bars go up and down. Bar graphs can also be horizontal, meaning they go left and right. Excuse me. So we use it the exact same way, only now I see the thing we're comparing is on the side and the number is down at the bottom. So if I look at this graph, I first want to take a look, okay, what are we doing? This says, the title up here says favorite snacks. So this graph is about favorite snacks. I don't know the age. I don't know if it's boys or girls or adults or kids. We don't know any more information, but this is some group of people's favorite snacks. The types of snacks we're comparing, that's the thing that's similar. The types are popcorn, crackers, trail mix, cheese, vegetable, and fruit. That's what they could vote between. And then you can see on the bottom, once again, it goes up by twos again. So anything halfway in between is going to be in between that number. I see that's the number of votes that they got. All right, so let's count these up just to practice. I'm going to start down at the bottom with fruit. I see fruit extends all the way here. It's kind of halfway in between 8 and 9, or 8 and 10, meaning that 9 people voted for fruit. Vegetables, halfway in between 4 and 6. That means 5 people voted for it because 5 is halfway between 4 and 6. Cheese, halfway between 6 and 8. If I kind of extend that down, halfway between 6 and 8 is 7. Trail mix was right on that 4 line. That's a pretty easy one. Crackers were 2. 2 people voted for crackers. It was right on that cracker line. And then popcorn was halfway in between 4 and 6, giving it 5. So what are some conclusions that I could get from this data? Well, I could say that more people like fruit than vegetables. Our data proves that. I can prove that crackers, I thought crackers would be a really, really high one. That's probably the one I would have voted for, and it's actually the lowest. So that surprised me a little bit, that crackers would. I would think, I'm going to guess in my conclusion, this was a group of adults who like healthy snacks. Maybe not, maybe it's kids. But we try to figure out, well, what could we do with this data? What did we learn? Okay. But bar graphs are comparing similar things in different categories. They can either go up and down and be vertical or left and right and be horizontal. All right. So you're going to go and you're going to try to read a few of these bar graphs just to practice. All right. Well, good luck. And we'll come back and learn a little bit about line graphs in a